Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Hitman with Thailand, the full story. Because in Thailand, like in all of the best Hitman levels, there is a lot going on beneath the surface, a whole story involving all of the players, and of course if you just dig into it, follow them around enough, move them into the right positions, you can learn an awful lot about what's actually happening. So, let's just quickly remind ourselves what the actual setup is here.
Your main target is Jordan Cross, the lead singer of The Class, a renowned indie rock outfit recording their highly anticipated sophomore album. But this millennial poster boy harbors a dark secret. 1 year ago, promising young actress Hannah Highmore fell to her death from Cross's penthouse loft in Dumbo, New York. According to the police, Miss Highmore's death was a tragic accident, but her parents remain unconvinced. They firmly believe that Cross murdered Hannah and only escaped justice due to the power and influence of his father, billionaire media mogul Thomas Cross. A secondary target, Ken Morgan, corporate fixer and attorney to the Cross family, is also staying at the hotel. Cunning and unscrupulous, Morgan was a key agent in the cover-up of Hannah Highmore's murder and Jordan Cross's subsequent acquittal. The Highmores understandably want retribution. And while the system may be powerless, ICA is anything but. Welcome to Bangkok, 47. Ken Morgan has booked the Queen Suite but has yet to check in. You will find him in and around the restaurant. Oddly enough, Jordan Cross seems completely unaware of his presence.
So there we are, 3 mysteries to start off with. Did Jordan Cross actually do it? Why is Ken Morgan actually here? And specifically, why is Ken Morgan here when Jordan Cross doesn't even seem to know about it? Why is Ken Morgan hiding from Jordan Cross? Following Ken Morgan around will get us our first set of answers, albeit slightly inconclusive and incomplete ones. Regularly during the initial loop he goes on down here on the balcony, he'll go over here and chat to his bodyguard or otherwise make a phone call. We can get a few things out of him just by listening in on those.
Mr. Cross, I have arrived. So, your son's manager, this Dexi Barrett. Anything I should know? Not a problem. I know the type. No, we'll meet on the QT. We don't want Jordan to know I'm here. He might throw a fit and sway Miss Barrett from doing the smart thing. Think nothing of it. Some things need to be handled in person.
So confirmation there, of course, that Jordan Cross truly doesn't know Ken Morgan's here, and why Ken Morgan is here is to do some business with Dexi Barrett, Jordan's manager. Follow Ken Morgan around a second time, however, and you get a much more interesting conversation that he has with his bodyguard, Otis.
So, what are we really doing here, sir? If you don't mind me asking.
Not at all. Snooping is man's defining trait. You see, Otis, the bulk of my work takes place behind the scenes. I'm a fixer, only occasionally a lawyer. Court is like war. You only go if diplomacy fails.
You're here on Thomas Cross's behalf, aren't you? That's why you don't want his son to know we're here?
Bingo. Young Master Cross is the proverbial thorn in his father's eye. Not to mention a royal screw-up. Tossing his girlfriend off a roof. Really. You can't trust a man who's unable to control his emotions.
It's undignified, sir.
Anyway, that is what we're here for. Leverage. My client wants to tighten his son's leash, and Dexi Barrett has just the thing we need. It's called due diligence.
I get it. But if Jordan goes down, doesn't everyone who helped him escape justice go down with him? Including you and his dad?
Not necessarily. We would claim good faith and let Dexi Barrett take the fall. We have spun worse stories. And bad publicity is good for the ratings.
Well, I'm glad I'm not a lawyer, sir. I don't think my conscience could take it.
Touché.
So as far as Ken Morgan is concerned, Jordan is indeed guilty. Now, we can't necessarily take that as truth. Ken Morgan wasn't there, he can't be certain, but he believes that Jordan was guilty and he was defending a guilty man. So, not quite proof, but certainly a suggestion that he was indeed behind the murder of Hannah Highmore. Potentially more interestingly, of course, we now know that he's acting on the orders of Thomas Cross himself, though we could have reasonably guessed that, and indeed he's looking for some form of leverage. Thomas Cross wants to tighten the leash on his son a little bit, his son having got a bit out of control, you know, murdering starlets and all of that. So get the letter from the second floor, deliver it to Ken Morgan by popping it in the tray, and you can find out what his business is with Dexy Barrett.
Basement linen room. Call me when you get there. Dexy Barrett.
But art doesn't give you any
Let's go,
breaks.
Otis.
No.
Dexy Barrett finally gave word. We're meeting at the linen room. Welcome to the exciting world of corporate underhand dealings.
So just follow him down to the linen room and he'll finally make the call to Dexy.
Just bring me the flash drive, Miss Barrett, and I promise I will be out of your hair. Tonight? Out of the question. I would need to change my flight. I have my housekeeper watching my dog. Miss Barrett. Miss Barrett!
So a mention of a flash drive, but also interestingly the mention that Dexy Barrett is not willing to come down and make the exchange. So why exactly did Dexy not just hand over the information to Ken Morgan? A phone call she has on the third floor gives us the answer to that.
Mr. Cross, Dexy Barrett, I have the recording. Your son listens to me, that's how. I told him I would destroy it. Still, it took some convincing. That's the deal. I left your man a note at the reception. Who are you sending? Ken Morgan? My. Do you always use top-rated lawyers as errand boys? Either way, the price is doubled. Because I have ex-husbands to feed. And because I don't like you very much, Mr. Cross. You are sharky even by my standards. I betray your son's trust just by talking to you. So pay up, or your fancy attorney came a long way for nothing. Do we have terms?
So that there is exactly why Dexy Barrett doesn't take the recording straight back down the moment Ken Morgan communicates with her. It's because she's waiting for Thomas Cross to pay her a lot more money. And when she says Thomas Cross is sharky even by her standards, well, she's got pretty high standards of sharkiness herself if you listen to the bodyguards up on the third floor.
That's Dexy Barrett's room.
Exactly. I just want to see what it's like. You know, does she sleep in an oxygen tent? Does she keep a bunch of Dalmatian puppies locked up?
Yeah, she's a character, all right. Would you believe she used to be a corporate CLO? Her company knowingly produced a carcinogenic weed killer, but after Dexy got into the fight, the victims were the ones who ended up paying damages.
Huh. Yeah, we should probably stay out of her room.
We probably should.
Before we move on though, there's one other thing in that conversation. Dexy specifically said to Thomas Cross that his son trusts her, implying that they have trouble, and indeed they do. So if we cut back to Ken Morgan a little bit later in his cycle down on the ground floor...
So you must know Thomas Cross pretty well. What's he like, sir?
Point of fact. I only ever met him twice. The first time was aboard his Cross Holdings jumbo jet when he offered me the position of senior counselor. Back then, he lived permanently in the air and only came down to refuel. The second time was in New York, after young Jordan was indicted for Hannah Highmore's murder. He looked very pale that night. He told me to make the charges go away at any costs. No holds barred. But what nobody gets, not even Jordan Cross, is this. He really does love his son.
Just has a funny way of showing it, huh?
Don't we all?
Though they clearly have some issues, Ken Morgan claims that Thomas Cross really does love his son. The feeling, however, is not exactly reciprocated. If you set up his birthday cake properly, so there's a little kind of birthday party for Jordan, you get to see just what a slightly mixed up relationship he has with his father. This scene also contains my favourite rendition of Happy Birthday of all time. It's truly magnificent.
We wish you a happy birthday. We wish you a grand day. We wish you an awesome year. We wish that to you, Jordan. Happy birthday.
Oh, well, shit, fellas. Look, I mean, that's pretty decent of you.
Don't mention it, darling. Have a taste. It's vegan. Yum.
Oh, vegan, huh? All right. You guys went through a lot of trouble, huh?
Oh, no, it wasn't us. Your father ordered it.
My father?
Oh, yeah. He was real particular. I mean, everything had to be just right for his son's big day, huh?
Oh, did he now?
So suddenly Jordan's a lot more cool on the cake when he knows his father ordered it.
Oh, it's perfect, yeah. What an asshole!
Okay, thanks for doing this, guys, but why don't we give Jordan a little bit of space now, okay?
Way to go, Colin. Smooth as always.
I get hungry when I see you.
Darling.
He sent me a cake, Dexy. A cake!
I know, but maybe your father is a complicated man. Maybe this is his way of reaching out and trying to...
Oh, that asshole never reached for anything but his wallet. All right, I'll tell you what this is. This is one giant frosting-covered fuck you. This is Thomas Cross saying, I own you, bitch. He's saying that no matter where I go or what I do, I will always screw up and need him to bail me out.
That's an awful lot to read into a cake.
Oh, you don't know him, Dex. And I pray you don't get to.
I'll give you a moment, darling.
So of course Jordan Cross, a slightly complicated relationship with his father, who he has always needed to varying degrees, but he really wishes he could get out of the shadow of.
It's good. It's really good. He must have really made an effort to get the right recipe. Being all considerate and shit. Bastard!
I just love how he despises his father even more because he made an effort to get the recipe spot on. It's beautiful. You can, by the way, smother him in the cake at this point. That's a nice way to kill him. Back down in the linen room, however...
Mr. Cross. No, I do not. Barrett postponed our rendezvous. She made a rather far-fetched excuse, something about roadies. I got the distinct feeling she is stringing us along. She does. I see. How much more? Oh, this rather reeks of greed and guilt. A most tedious cocktail. No, better let her make the next move. Make her feel in control. I am convinced I can make her come around. If not, there is always the other way.
Thomas Cross, it seems, is going to refuse to pay, and instead Ken Morgan is either going to bring her around at the original price, or potentially she's going to have a little accident. This isn't the first time Ken Morgan has actually arranged people's deaths, by the way. If you actually follow him around for long enough on his initial loop outside, then he eventually admits this about his former dealings.
The things I have done on his behalf would get my grandchildren disbarred. The bribes, the blackmail, the careers destroyed, the unfortunate heart attacks.
Yes, indeed, he has previously arranged for people to just have spontaneous heart attacks. Lovely man. But what about the recording in the flash drive that keeps being mentioned? For that, we're going to need to get something off Dexi Barrett. She drinks from this wine glass here on the 3rd floor directly above the recording studio. Let's just quickly pop some vomiting poison in there and wait for her to show up. There she goes. She immediately runs into the nearest room and starts vomiting into the toilet. Now we can just quickly get her down nice and quietly. And the moment she goes down, she happens to have the penthouse safe combination. Lovely. No need to get rid of her. No one else is going to come in here. Her room is literally right across the room that she'll run into the bathroom for, so just head in here. And though you are trespassing the moment you step inside the room, of course, you're not trespassing outside it, so if you just run inside quickly and close the door, no one will see anything. And here's the safe in question, right here. Use the safe combination on the safe, and you will get yourself the USB flash drive in question. Mention of a recording, a flash drive, and indeed, a few people around the hotel have previously mentioned screaming. They've heard a recording of some screaming going on. What exactly is happening here? Well, all we need to do now is take this recording and run it down this way towards Jordan's room. So again, just head in here, you're now trespassing, just shut the door behind you nice and quick, and that's 100% fine. And there is a computer that you can use the recording on. Now, if Jordan's already dead or safely out of the way downstairs, you can simply put the recording on and listen to the whole thing.
You always put words in my mouth and always stumbling right behind me when I'm trying to talk. I never said that. Never. Hannah, selective hearing, that's your problem.
You asshole. I'm not some googly-eyed groupie, Jordan. I have a glamorous globe-trotting career, just like you. That doesn't mean I hump every goddamn underwear model I meet at an airplane toilet. Like a goddamn textbook cliche. Why? Who the hell do you think you are? You don't do that, Jordan. Not to me. Not to me.
Don't tell me what to do, Hannah.
Oh, right. Yes, that would be your father's domain.
Shut up! Shut up!
Hey, what are you doing? Stop. Stop.
Han? Oh my God. Hannah! Jesus. I didn't mean to. Oh shit. What the hell did you make me do? Okay. Just make it go away. Just make it go away. Okay. Pick up, Dexy, please. Pick up. Dexy, something happened. At the loft. I need your help. I need your help!
And after that point, it's nothing but silence and just background noise of traffic. And this indeed might explain why Jordan Cross hates his father quite so much. Jordan Cross, having been born into a multi-billionaire family, was finally starting to get somewhere by his own merit, but then he messed up so badly the only way he could get out of it was indeed by turning to his father. It also neatly ties up what Ken Morgan was saying earlier. He said that if this ever came out, they'd simply let Dexy take the fall. How do they let Dexy take the fall? Well, if they get that there recording, then they've got proof that after Jordan murdered Hannah, he called up Dexy. Not Thomas Cross, Dexy. Puts Dexy right on the hook for sorting it all out. Which is probably also why Dexy wants so much money to hand over the recording, though to be honest, she probably shouldn't do it all if she's smart. That, however, is one of multiple ways that it can play out here in this apartment. That's the recording that we can get in full. However, if you play it while Jordan Cross is still alive and he happens to be upstairs, then he'll hear it and run in, and then you get an entirely different scene that again can unfold in multiple ways. So first up, let's kick off that recording, then let's just hide around the corner here and see how Jordan reacts when he thinks he's alone.
Think.
Goddamn underwear model I meet at an airplane toilet.
She knew.
Like a goddamn.
Maybe she always suspected. Why was it just playing? What would be the purpose? What? Blackmail. Some sick game. What if I just smashed the drive now? Did they take copies or was it a warning? I'll never be safe. One moment's mistake and you pay for it forever. That stupid bitch ruined my life! I know you're there. Pick up. Dad, please, I need you. I'm your son, you bastard! Pick up the phone!
Heidi, by the way, is his bandmate, who he thinks is trying to blackmail or freak him out. And of course, Jordan Cross, though he will no doubt hate himself for it, has no option but to turn to the person he hates most in the world. Once more, he needs his dad to fix it for him. And one final time, we're going to put the recording on, but this time we're just going to take a lovely seat in this chair and wait for Jordan to show up with our nice silver baller out. Because this level actually has one of the rare instances where 47 will actually confront and talk with the target. Very rarely happens, like happened in the very first kind of training level of Blood Money, happened with the albino clone at like the penultimate level of Blood Money, but overwhelmingly it doesn't happen.
Who are you?
That's not
The right question.
Hi, Morris. Whatever they're paying you, I will double it, okay?
It doesn't work that way. Not here.
So wait. Look, I didn't mean to. You know? I was drunk. I snapped. The window, I didn't think. But it happened. So, do I deserve to die because I made some stupid mistake? Or because I tried to get away with it?
Either way, it won't make a difference.
Please, don't, man, okay? Just don't. You'll regret it, okay? Look, I'm only an artist, all right? Why don't you go kill some real bad guys? Oh, come on, okay? Think, all right? Do you really think my father's gonna let this slide? No, he'll know, all right? He'll find you, okay? And when he does, you'll see what kind of man he is, okay? You'll see what I see. Please, man. Say something. Okay, I want to fix this. Just tell me what I can do. Okay.
A contract is a contract.
And whenever you're ready.
Do you really think my father...
So with one final complaint against his father, claiming that we'll get to see his father, as Jordan Cross himself does, Jordan goes down, and the full story is indeed revealed. Jordan Cross did not intentionally murder Hannah Highmore on the available evidence. He was a domestic abuser who, in a drunken rage, was meaning to scare her and badly hurt her, but from the audio recording in his own testimony, we can be reasonably sure that he did not mean to kill her. We do, however, know that he decided to keep the recording and has been listening to it over and over. Potentially the combination of the guilt and having to turn to his father, who he hates more than anyone in the world, certainly caused something inside him to snap. He is not mentally in a good place right now. Eventually, Dexy, who perhaps, given it seems he's also suspicious of his bandmate Heidi, appears to be the only person in the world he actually likes and, more importantly, trusts, persuaded him that it wasn't healthy he had the recording and that he should just give it over to her. Unfortunately, she was working for Thomas Cross the whole time and wanted to sell it for the largest amount of money possible. Sadly, what she didn't realise is Thomas Cross wanted to use it not just for leverage against his own son, but also for leverage against Dexy herself. If it ever all comes out, Dexy would take the fall, not Thomas Cross, not Ken Morgan. So, a web of very nasty people all trying to screw each other over, unfortunately. And that only leaves one unanswered question. Of course, we mentioned right at the beginning that Jordan Cross doesn't know that Ken Morgan is in the hotel, and really Ken Morgan doesn't want Jordan Cross to find out. So what happens if they meet? There is, as far as I can tell, literally one way to arrange this, which is if you disguise yourself as an exterminator, you can ask the hotel manager to clear out the upper suites so that you can have a little look-see round. That brings Jordan Cross down into the lobby. Then if you disguise yourself as hotel staff, then you can go up to Ken Morgan, tell him that you're ready to show him his suite, and then you can lead Ken Morgan wherever you want through the lobby. That is the only way to get the two of them to actually meet each other.
I'd like to inspect the penthouse now.
Very well, I'll make the call. But I'm warning you, no slip-ups, especially not with young Master Cross on his way down. If any of those toxins get into the ventilation system, you could gas the whole atrium.
Understood, ma'am.
So, of course, as the hotel manager is implying there, like, the point of this opportunity is really that Jordan Cross and all of his entourage comes down into the lobby. You can just slip a canister of gas into the ventilation system, which is over there on the right, through in that room over there. If you do that, then they're all knocked unconscious. It's not lethal, it just is unconscious, but then you can just, like, snap their necks or whatever, and there's no witnesses. So, you know, it's one fun way to do it. Anyway, Jordan Cross is now on his way down. Let's go and get Ken Morgan now by changing into the hotel staff disguise. So, Ken Morgan is now following me, and I'm just going to lead him right into the hotel, just as, here we are, look, there is lovely Mr. Cross on his way down, much further down than usual.
No, you did it! Morgan! You brown nose! What are you doing here?
Jordan, my boy. Fancy seeing you here.
Cut the shit, Morgan! Did he send you here? Huh? Did my father send you here to spy on me? I knew it! I knew this would happen. Are you two in cahoots? You my father's lapdog too? Oh, and you, Morgan, you flabby sycophant. What's in it for you? Huh? This old vampire grooming you for CEO? Is that why you let him treat you like his two-bit errand boy? Huh? Where's your silver tongue now?
Jordan, if you will just calm down. I think I can explain. Things are not this black and white. What do you say we stop making a scene and continue this conversation in my suite?
Oh, this better be good.
So now the two of them are willing to head up to the Queen's suite up on the 3rd floor on the right.
All right, get out. This is between myself and Master Cross.
Are you sure that's wise, sir?
Do it, Otis.
Mr. Morgan.
Okay, start talking, Morgan.
I will tell you the truth. You must understand. It wasn't supposed to go down like this. Your father was merely being sagacious.
What are you babbling about?
Hannah Highmore's death tape. The proverbial smoking gun that you so precariously kept for yourself instead of destroying the evidence. That's why I'm here.
Oh, Dexy.
Don't be too hard on Miss Barrett. Everyone has a price, and it is usually lower than you'd think. We did not mean to use it, of course. Not unless you left your father no choice.
Oh, you wouldn't dare. You covered it up. Look, I'll take you down with me, all right? You and my dad.
Your father and I acted in good faith. How were we to know that Dexi Barrett helped you tamper with the crime scene? Made it look like an accident? It's Miss Barrett you call on the tape, not your father. The bribes and the hush money all came from offshore accounts in your name. Don't bullshit me, Jordan. You and I are in very different leagues.
Bastard, die!
And in fact, Jordan Cross has just straight up murdered Ken Morgan for you. And guess what you can do next?
Dad? Please call me. It happened again.
I like that line. And straight off he goes for a second accident kill. And there we are. That is a double accident kill. So therefore, that is a silent assassin if you can just avoid going into suspicion at any other point. But I just love it that, yes, in fact, Ken Morgan tells him the truth. And what is his response? Well, of course, his response is to push Ken Morgan out of a window. Because that's how Jordan Cross deals with all of his problems. And indeed, that is the achievement. Oops, I did it again. Because just like Hannah, Ken Morgan has met the same fate. But this time you can follow it up by immediately pushing him out of the window. But poor, pathetic Jordan Cross, who of course his immediate response to pushing yet another person out of the window is indeed to call up Daddy and ask him to bail him out once again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed the full story of Thailand. Primarily the rather sad story of a pathetic, angry young man who just keeps killing people without meaning to because he can't keep his temper under control. Dear oh dear. Jordan Cross is, I like Jordan Cross as a character. He's a pathetic figure who would be tragic if it weren't for the fact that he's also clearly an angry, angry psychopath. And indeed, that bit we saw at the end there kind of undermines what he was saying earlier. Like, he pleads innocence in the question of Hannah, saying, you know, he didn't mean to, he was drunk, it was the alcohol that did it. That was his excuse for Hannah when 47 confronts him. And yet, he certainly wasn't drunk right then, or at least we never see him drink any alcohol if you follow him around, so he hasn't been drinking. But even then, when he gets angry, he just straight up killed Ken Morgan. So, yeah, I'd say even the alcohol is just an excuse. Potentially, he is just an angry, angry person who couldn't control his temper. And indeed, well, I'm not sure whether you'd call that murder or manslaughter. Take your pick there. In either case, Jordan Cross is a very nasty piece of work, and it's probably for the best that he ended up dead as a result. So there we are, Thailand. I like the plot. I like the recording. The recording is creepy. It's really well done. It's properly horrifying they didn't pull any punches. So Thailand, great little level. Like it, public, open. I think not many people especially would have seen that bit at the end there, because it really takes two very precise bits of setup to get Jordan and Ken to actually meet each other. But that is what happens if they do. So, more Hitman soon, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has been the excellent Thailand level and Hitman with the full story. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Oh, cannibalism. Good. That's a useful thing. Good news, guys. Unless he rolls dreadfully, he should be safe. And that was a pretty dreadful roll. And now the ship doesn't explode. Yay! Not explode. Not explode. Not explode. We're running out of dice again. I wonder if there's any morphine left.